Dear students, warm greetings to all of you. I hope you all are doing well and are in the best of your health. Dear students, today again you are welcome for your English literature class, and we are going to begin with a very interesting chapter of your NCERT textbook, that is Honeysuckle. Please open page number 56 of your textbook. And let us start with our chapter number 5, that is a different kind of school. Students, you all go to school every day and you really enjoy going to school. So before we actually begin with the chapter, let me introduce you some lines from the top of the page written. Do you know these words? If you don't, find out their meanings. That is bandage, crutch, cripple, honor, misfortune, and system. And you have to look at the pictures in this unit and guess in what way this school may be different from other schools or the school in which you are studying. I'm sure you are going to enjoy this chapter and you're going to learn a lot. Dear students, let us know about the aims and objectives of this chapter. This lesson addresses an important social concern for the differently abled, that is the handicapped children. Its aim is to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune and make them share in misfortune. In this school, every child has to play different types of games like blind, lame, deaf, dumb, and injured. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to disabled persons, and to make them a responsible citizens of the nation, and to make them feel confident and believe in themselves that they can do anything that they feel like doing. So let us know the word meanings of the chapter before we start the reading part. Few words written here are in the tabular form, and I'm going to read the parts of speech, meanings, and sentences for you. The first one is arrive, which is in verb first form. The meaning is to reach the place to which you were traveling. We arrived home at about midnight. The flight is due to arrive at 11:30. Authority is a noun. The power and right to give orders and make others obey. You must get this signed by a person in authority. He is unaccustomed to having his authority challenged. Bandage is a noun here. A long piece of soft white material that you tie around a wound or injury. The nurse bandaged my hand up. He took the bandage off his eyes and glanced around him. Cripple is a noun meaning to damage somebody's body so that he or she is no longer able to walk or move normally. He is an emotional cripple. The cripple choked and pushed the plate away. Deaf, it is an adjective, or sometimes it is used as a noun also. Unable to hear anything or unable to hear very well, or having some deformity of hearing. You will have to speak louder. My father is a bit deaf. Dumb, adjective again, or used as a noun also. Not able to speak, to be deaf and dumb. Hopeless, it's an adjective. The meaning is giving no hope that something or somebody will be successful or get better. It's hopeless. There's nothing we can do. Jolly is an adjective which is full of high spirits, comical, jovial in nature. Dear me, how jolly we are, said Rostov, laughing. Kindness is a noun. The quality of being kind, a kind act, or humble, generous, polite, and a kind-hearted person. Thank you very much for all your kindness. Misery, it's again a noun. great unhappiness or suffering. I couldn't bear to see him in such a misery. Misfortune, dear students, kindness, misery, misfortune are all abstract nouns. It is again here used as an adjective, or sometimes it is used as an abstract noun, which means an event, accident, etc., that brings bad luck or disaster, or you can say being unlucky or unfortunate. I hope I don't ever have the misfortune to meet him again. Overlook is a verb. To fail to see or notice something, to overlook a spelling mistake. He chose to overlook the idea of his nishani, cursing like a man at battle. Thoughtfulness is a noun, the state of thinking carefully about something or being careful or concerned. A steady gaze reflects thoughtfulness. We really appreciated her thoughtfulness and kindness and are very grateful for what she did to help our dog. Now let us have a brief introduction of the lesson. This lesson is a message about how doing simple things can make learning more interesting and easier. Learning while doing is the best way to learn different things. Moreover, other than learning routine things, we need to make ourselves aware and concerned about our environment and its problems or challenges. Let us go through the reading of paragraph 1 to 12. Dear students, I request you to please write down the date, day, and classwork on page number 56. Before we start reading, put on the slashes as per the pauses and underline all the difficult spellings and the important lines. Let's begin with the reading. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. When I arrived, there was no one in sight but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage, means she had a blindfold on her eyes, and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. She stopped, and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me to her. Then they passed on. Miss Beam was all that I had expected at middle-aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn gray, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. No more than asked her some questions about her teaching methods. And indeed, it is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. The real aim of the school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness. That is, kindness to others and being responsible citizens. Look out of the window a minute, will you? I went to the window which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Bean asked. The narrator went to the window and viewed a large garden and a playground. Miss Beam asked him what he was able to see. I see some very beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see two more with the same difficulty. And there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be a hopeless cripple. Miss Beam laughed. Oh no, she said. She's really not lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day. I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. This is a very important part of our system. To make our children appreciate and understand misfortune, we make them share in misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, and one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. The bandage is put on overnight so they wake up blind. This seems that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helpers. There is no misery about it, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is very kind and it is really something of a game. Before the day is over, though, even the most thoughtless child realizes what misfortune is. The blind day is, of course, really the worst. Dear students, you are requested to underline because you may be asked about a question, which day is considered to be the worst. But some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the children's mouths. So they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girls. Here is a gentleman come to talk to you, said Miss Beam, and left us. Now let's go through paragraph number 13 to 17 all together. Don't you ever peep? I asked the girl. Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You cannot see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. Are your helpers kind to you? I asked. Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you would try. Shall I lead you anywhere? Asked. Oh yes, she said. Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be as half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just from worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now? In the playground? I asked. We are walking towards the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. What is the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. Yes, that's Millie. She is the head girl. There's an old man tying up roses, I said, "Yes, that's Peter. He's the gardener. He's hundreds of years old, and here comes a girl with curly red hair. She's on crutches." "That's Anita said." And so we walked on. Gradually, I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. "Ah," she replied, "then there is something in my system after all." Dear students, I hope you all have enjoyed the reading part of this chapter. Now let us have a summary and know what the chapter is trying to give a lesson to us. The story is written by E.V. Lucas, and it is being abridged. Abridged means the main highlights of the story are written in this chapter, and it is being shortened by the writer. So the summary says it is a story which revolves around a unique school. Unique means very different, where the main aim is to teach children how to sympathize with others and being very helpful. The writer of the story has heard a lot about Miss Beam's school, so he decides to give it a visit. Upon reaching there, he notices that a saw with bandage-covered eyes is being led cautiously by a little boy between the flower bed. He finally meets Miss Beam, who explains her teaching methods. She tells him that her main aim of teaching in this school is to help children become more kind and thoughtful. He looks out a window and it pains his heart to see a field full of happy children, but not healthy ones. Two girls have a bandage on their eyes while one is watching the others play as she's on crutches. However, to his surprise, Miss Beam tells him that the girl with the crutches is not lame. Similarly, the one with bandaged eyes does not have trouble in her eyes. In order to help her children appreciate it and understand the less fortunate, the school makes them share in their misfortune. So they are made lame or their eyes are covered so they can realize the true essence of the misfortune. Similarly, she tells other children to help them out. Thus, each term, every child has one blind, one lame, one injured, one dumb, and one deaf day. Everyone plays this game at school. Miss Beam asked the author to spend some time with the girl having a bandage on her eyes. The author finds out that the girl appreciates the help she got from the other children. Thus, it makes her strive to become a better person and help out others. The girl tells the author how being blind for a day is the hardest thing to do. It is because movement becomes difficult and they always have to worry about getting hurt. They keep dodging things which are not even there. Then the writer goes for a short walk with the girl. After that, he realizes that he has become 10 times more thoughtful. Moreover, he also realizes that describing things to people brings him great pleasure. Pleasure means great joy and happiness. So, I hope the lesson has surely conveyed you a beautiful moral lesson. So the moral of the story is a different kind of school summary teaches us how, apart from education, we must also learn how to be respectful of others. Moreover, we must always help out the specially abled people and be compassionate towards them. Finally, we must be grateful for what we have and make the most of it. Dear students, here the meaning of specially abled people is people who are handicapped or who are physically challenged. Being grateful means being thankful. Now, look at this activity one. Describing the picture, write a short paragraph using the words given below. You can see in the picture there is a woman who is middle-aged, full of authority, kind and helping, understanding. She's having gray hair, plump figure. She is Miss Beam, our school teacher. So you need to portray a character sketch of Miss Beam on the basis of your reading, understanding, and visualizing and thinking skills about the description of the entire picture, which is projected in front of you. Activity 2 is match the words and phrases with their meanings in the box. Homesick, practically, it pains me, appreciate, thoughtless. Exercise, relief, ghastly. The words or phrases here are almost, it hurts me, terrible, test the strength of, understanding the difficulties, wanting to be home, a welcome change, not very caring. So dear students, I hope you have understood this chapter well and have surely enjoyed it. So I request you to please read this lesson again thoroughly. Learn all the word meanings and the difficult spellings. Please do the question answers on the basis of your reading and understanding of the chapter and complete the back exercises given in the book. There is also a glossary given at the back of the chapter that is on page number 64. Please mark it, learn it, and memorize it. So thank you so much, dear children, for watching and listening to this video. Take good care of yourselves and have a safe and happy life. Thank you.